Hey everybody, it's me, Carrie. I'm just a few minutes early because I want to get my tablet ready so I can see what's going on, and hopefully I will have some of our kit makers here very soon. So, because I need you to be here, you have to be present live in order to win the bingo. And why did that freeze? Why did that freeze? There we go. Looks like it's moving now. So as you pop on, say hello and let me know if you're going to be playing bingo with us tonight. If you are one of my people who ordered the Trucking Along bundle and kit and you forgot to RSVP, but you have your bingo numbers, or if you need them, I can tell you what they are. But let me know, because I was surprised very few people RSVP'd, frankly. So we're going to see what happens here tonight. So I'm just grabbing a few things, in case you didn't know. All right. Had to grab the bingo prizes. Forgot to do that. So who's here? I'm not seeing any comments. Let me see if they're on my phone. No. So please say hello. Now there is a little delay. So when we're playing bingo, there will be a little bit of a delay in there. Hi, Linda. Oh my gosh, it literally, Linda said hello and it popped out of Facebook. So let me get back in here. Facebook is being updated? Are you kidding me? You guys, that can't be happening now. Come on, there it goes. It looks like it's thinking about it. Can you believe that? The weirdest things happen to me when I'm trying to go live. I mean, honestly, it's just silly. So, hopefully my phone is live. Let's see. Oh, don't do that. Come on. Go the right way. And see, now it updates and it's this way, and it's very hard for me to see your comments. There, see how they pop up? So, hi Linda, hi Michelle, somebody else said hi. See, they disappear. It's both of you. Why am I seeing them twice? I don't know. So, so this should be an interesting, it should be an interesting night. All right, so hopefully everybody got their kits and you guys are all ready. My recommendation is that you just watch tonight and play bingo, and then you come back for the if you need to, because y'all have the instructions. So if you need to come back and watch it, it'll be saved on my Facebook page, and I'm probably going to throw it up on my YouTube channel tomorrow. But and if you are not part of the people who ordered, but you really like this idea and you'd like the kit, I have, as of this moment, 3, I believe. I think I have 3. So if you want it, you need to hurry, because Stampin' Up! No longer has the punch and it will not be available until October. So let me know. Actually, send me an instant a DM. That's the best way to do it. I just have this card here so that, you know, in case you guys hadn't seen, this is one that I did. It's not part of the kit, but I did do the pumpkins. I'm probably going to show how I made this one after, because the pumpkin is actually quite dimensional. So I'll show this one at a future time. All right, so I'm going to explain how bingo works. So everybody in their kit got this page, and I wrote their bingo numbers in here. So I'm trying to keep everything. This isn't like hugely important right now to be there. So I'm gonna scoot a few things out of the way. But you got your numbers. If you need your numbers, you need to let me know. So when we're playing bingo, which will be in between cards, we'll play 3 games. And I know for sure I have at least 3 people who said they were coming. So I can't believe I offered a free bingo and not everybody jumped on it. That just really shocked me. So anyway, what happens is I take my little bag. I must be really behind. And I pull out bingo numbers. Okay, and then I will leave them up here. So I'm hoping these aren't anybody's numbers, so I'm not going to take them all out. So as I pull out numbers, I'm going to be laying them up here. There is no bingo on the numbers or on your numbers. That's not, it's just 5 numbers. So let's say you had the number 9 and the number 25. Doesn't matter where they are on your bingo list of numbers because they're in numeric order. So I pull a 9 and you have that. You're going to message B9. Okay? And then the next time, if I pull your number and your number is 25, you're going to say I-25. And then maybe the next one will be, you know, I'm going to say 2000 because I know I don't have, I only go up to 25. So then it would be like N2000. Does that make sense? And that's how you will keep track of how you are doing in bingo. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, this is my little bag that I use for my bingo, and we are going to go ahead and get started with some fun. You'll notice on the back of this page with your bingo numbers, I told you everything you needed to gather if you were going to stamp with me. I'm going to just move along because it's 7 o'clock at night here in Michigan, and so I don't want to be here until 11, and probably none of you do either, because it is a work night. But I also gave you some other ideas for cards that were made with 2 of the other cards. I just flipped the designer series paper over. So I wanted you guys to have that. Oh, good. I'm glad that that made sense to you, Michelle. Cool. All right. So we are going to start with this really cute special delivery one. Here is the finished project. Okay. And remember I said there was one that I did over. So this is the paper is exactly the same. That is why your paper in your kit is too big for this green border. Okay, so let me show you what we're doing. I'm not gonna you guys are fairly intelligent, so I'm not gonna complete every single card. This one is pretty simple, so I'm just gonna do the basics with you so that you're ready. Now you'll notice I have pink ribbon. I ran out of the beautiful yellow ribbon, and then it's on back order. It's not even Stampin' Up! Doesn't even have back order anymore because with shipping costs going like through the roof since the pandemic, it costs them a lot of money because they have to pay for a certain size box no matter what. If they're sending you a pack of dimensionals, it's crazy. They don't do that anymore though. They mail them. So anyway, so there's no back orders. It's just, you know, wait and watch impatiently for it to return. All right, so you've got a piece of basic white. This is going to go on the inside of your card. You can, those are my notes. You can decorate it if you choose. I think it would be really cute, but for the purpose of this class, I did not. So that's going to go on the inside. And then remember how I said the DSP designer series paper is too big for this green? That is because I wanted to give you the option to make this cute little pink truck. The happy birthday is not in your card set. So there it is. So now you can see why. And then you would just have a spare piece of this this beautiful garden green. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this down because the lemons, I mean, how stinking cute are those lemons? This is from a designer series paper pack. It is called Delightfully Eclectic. It's the one that has 48 sheets. I love it. So you're going to take out your paper trimmer, and this is cut right now 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to cut it down to 3 3/4. Oh, I took my cutter out. Yeah! All right. It's okay. I have my old tiny one. Let's see. I thought I was so together, you guys. Oh. I just dropped all my adhesives and stuff that's in a basket on the floor. That's too funny. All right, so I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4. Oh, this will be fun because this was a Stampin' Up special. Isn't it cute? This is going to be fun because I can't see past 4 inches. So use your trimmer. So I'm going to take this, and this is how I'm going to even it. How crazy, right? So I can get it to the same length. There we go. There's always a way around it. All right. So, see, here's what's really cute is now you have these cute things here. This one has the lemons. It's going to depend on how your paper was cut. But you could absolutely then take those and line your line a piece of your paper or your inside with it. Be very cute. So, all right. So now I have that trimmed. I'm going to move this out of my way for the moment. I can't believe I did that. I hope I don't need a bigger trimmer later because that's going to be a problem. All right. So all you're going to do is very simply mat this. It's so hard to use. Sometimes when Designer Series paper first came out, and it wasn't just Designer Series, when all double-sided scrapbook paper, because those of you who are old enough might remember, scrapbook paper was one-sided. And when it first came out, I thought, what a waste. Why are they doing that? And you're like, wasting. Isn't that funny? And now, I mean, I love double-sided because you get so many options. But, you know, I was young and naive. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to adhere it down. Let me go under here where I dropped everything. And, yeesh. Hopefully there's nothing else that I need. As you see, I always keep a pencil handy. All right, so after this card, we are going to play bingo. All right, so let me move this where maybe I won't drop it. All right, now when I'm putting on ribbon, here is my tip for you. You guys know I love my liquid glue. It is my thing. I love it. But I like my ribbons to stay in place. Can you guys hear my phone? A bunch of us are getting ready to go to a Stampin' Up event, and so I'm in this group text, and it's like my phone's been blinging all day, and I forgot to turn down the sound, and I'm not going to try to do that. Okay, so I put just a little tiny smidgen on there. Okay, and then I like to, and it's going to depend on what you're doing. I know I'm putting a bow on there, so I'm not worried about if the adhesive will show through the ribbon. I don't think it will. This is pretty sheer though. Anyway, I like to do this. Oh, and that is not even. I like to do this to my ends so that they stay really stuck. All right. Now, forgot to fold my card base. Isn't this new color so pretty? It's called Lemon Lolly. I just really like it. It's a very vibrant green. I had been hoping for, do any of you guys remember Barely Banana? That's a long time ago. That was the softest. It was a very pretty yellow. And I kind of was hoping that that's what this was, but now I'm so happy with this bright yellow that I am totally okay without Barely Banana. Okay, so here we go. So now that is on the front. Nothing you guys don't know how to do, but I just wanted to make sure that I showed you guys how to trim down the paper for this card. And then you may notice that your ribbons already have sticky on them. This is my favorite tip of all, is I folded the sticky before I put it on there, the tear and tape, which that, I don't know where that went. That flew off somewhere. But you know, it comes on a roll. So the tear and tape, I folded it back on itself before I stuck it on the ribbon, because now it'll pull right off. And if you don't do that, sometimes this super sticky stuff, it wants to tear off the ribbon. So, you know, it can make you nuts. And you may need to trim your bows. Okay. And then of course, all you're going to do is you're going to mat these two pieces together. Now I want you to watch. Let me see if I can zoom here. All right. So if you look, this is the right side, the correct front of these pieces. Because if you look this way, can you see how that, you see the pokey holes instead of like stitch look? Okay, so when you put them together, make sure you put them together like so. You guys like my purple nail polish? That was for the Donny Osmond concert I went to with my girlfriends on Tuesday. I keep forgetting to post that picture of us from 1975. Such a crack up. All right, and then you're gonna, you're just going to stamp your truck, punch it out. Now my tip with the truck is, and I will be stamping a truck for you guys later, but you want to stamp the wheels first. I know that seems really weird, but it's easier to line up the rest of the truck if you can see the wheels. I think almost all the wheels in this kit I did in a gray. I think it was basic gray. Let me see. Let me look at my notes again. Oh, smoky slate. Because black was too black, and I played around and I liked that best. Okay, so you've got that. Now I'm going to show you what I did with the lemon. So I already pre-embossed the lemon for you guys. I just had to do it because it goes so well with this paper. You guys aren't commenting. I hope you like it. Give me some hearts or love. But in the back of the catalog, you will see that this is a hybrid, what they call a hybrid embossing folder, because you're going to get the embossing folder, which is what I use to cut out the wedges, and you get a die, which will cut out the wedges and stuff, and leaves and flowers and blah, blah, blah. And of course, it goes with the really cute and adorable Sweet Citrus stamp set. Used to be bundled, but every time, just so you guys know, I'm not sure if I've ever told you, probably, but when something is bundled in a catalog and a new catalog comes out and those items are going to go into that next catalog, or if it's in a mini and it's going to go into the annual catalog and it was a bundle, 9 times out of 10, the bundle price of saving 10% is gone. They unbundle it. So like if you like this now, you have to buy the hybrid folder and dies for one price, and then the stamp set for its price, and you lose your 10%. So I wanted to be sure I told you guys that. All right, so now I'm going to grab one of my blending brushes, and then I'm grabbing, what did I say to use? Crushed curry. I'm going to grab crushed curry. Even though that is cut out in Lemon Lolly, I did not pull all my stamp sets because I'm using so many different colors that I'm just using my spinning wheel. All right, so all you're going to do is take a blending brush. If you don't have a blending brush, use a sponge dauber, use a Q-tip, whatever, but these are the bomb. These are 3 for, I think $13, and the small ones are 3 for $12 or $11. But if you rub it on it, it is going to bring out your lemon. So I did that, and then I snips. Where are my snips? Then to get the edges, now this is one that didn't cut very well, so I kept it for myself. So when you're doing the edges, after you cut it out, all right, then you're going to want to darken up the rind of the lemon. So I would get a little bit nuttier here. I did a really bad job cutting it because I'm doing it for the video. So this one's going to look like this poor lemon has been bounced around town. Okay? So, so there you go. That is how you make your lemon look a little bit more luscious. And then you can stick it in the back of the truck. Okay? So, does everybody understand that? So, I know the lemons are so cute, right? And it goes so well with this paper. And then, of course, you're going to want to use, you guys all got some of this beautiful bling. You want to use some of the bling. And, of course, I used the yellow bling. I also used the same bling on this card. So, that is your first card. Was that okay how I did that one? Are you guys okay with me not stamping every single piece unless I think it's necessary? What color did you use for the truck and the daisies? Oh, the new bubble bath. This is bubble bath, and I didn't write it down. I think it's bubble bath and crushed curry. Okay. And then basic, the tuxedo basic black, or the memento tuxedo black for the background of the flowers, and then the crushed curry for the innards. Those are, you could use this one and color them in if you want, but that's this piece here was done, if you guys can see that, I'm hoping. This piece was done with the memento black, and then this piece was the fill-in, and that was with crushed curry. Okay? All right. So, and then of course you're going to want to decorate your envelope. Of course. Don't forget to not decorate your envelope. All right. So, you guys okay with how I did that? I didn't see any answers yet. Or do you need me to do every single truck? There are some tricks. So I am going to be stamping the truck and showing you ways to punch it. I am going to assume, since nobody seems to be complaining, and let's play bingo. All right. I am ready to see who is here. So I know Michelle and Linda is here. Is Marcia here? Is Denise here? Who else is here that's playing bingo? Okay, thank you, Michelle. Anybody else want to say hello that's doing bingo? Okay, well, Michelle and Linda, you guys might just have the greatest thing. So remember how I told you how to play this game. I'm going to draw one, and the first time you get a letter, you're going to say B, or a number, I'm sorry. You're going to say B and that number. And then the next one would be I and that number, etc. until you have bingo. And then you will get to choose from some free stamp sets. So the first one is the number 24. I'm going to pull a few because I know that nobody can win until I've pulled at least 5. So the number 8, 14, and 24. Anybody have any of those? I'll pull one more so I have 5 out. It's highly unlikely that... that would be awesome, though, if I pulled all those numbers and it was one of you guys, all your numbers. I don't think it is, so I'm going to check. No, it isn't. Let me see if any of you guys that are watching... B21. Yay, Michelle. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to pull 2 more. Number 10 and then number 25. Linda. She's got BB10. All right, the number 4 and the number 5. Oh, Michelle's got I. Linda's got an I. Yay, you guys are neck and neck. 3. 15. Let me move these down here. I'm trying to watch you guys to see if either of you guys have numbers. The number 6. And 22. Yay, Linda is N22. Okay, 16 and 23. Oh my gosh. I just saw that. Linda's got G16. I think Michelle has one too. Michelle has an N. Yay! N23. All right, we're down to the wire. 1. I'm looking so I can see if either of you guys have any of these numbers as I pull them out. 7. 2. I think we have a winner. No, because, yes. So, Linda, you have bingo. Woohoo! Congratulations, Linda. Yay! I'm so happy for you. Okay, so you get to pick from 3 stamp sets. So let me put these away. I don't know what we're going to do if just the 2 of you are playing. I don't know. We'll just figure it out. All right, which stamp set would you like, Linda? Beautifully Happy, Sending Support, or Scenic Garden? They're all totally different. This one is definitely a really pretty one to color. This one can be, but it has the innards and great sentiments. And then this one is all sentiments. Let me know if you need me to read any of those sentiments or anything to you. It's so weird. On the video, to me, it looks like I have like 2 inches between here and here, but I don't. It's so weird. Beautifully Happy. Okay. And I have my sticker. So I will get that off to you, Linda. So, Linda, just so you know, I'm debating. I've got a couple of days to think about this. And Michelle, too. You know the mini catalog's coming out, and by the end of the month, I have to tell Stampin' Up! If I want them to mail any of them. Or I can order them and mail them out, which might be what I do. If I do, Linda, I might hold on to this and mail it at the same time. But either way, you're going to get it in the next 3 weeks, maybe. If not, right away. Might be right away. All right, on to the next one. This one, I thought you guys would find really interesting. I thought of that sailboat as soon as I saw this, because I'm in Michigan. Hello, water everywhere. I'm not a sailor. I don't sail around all the time, but I thought it would be really fun to do this card. So, you've got all of your pieces for that, and you pull them all out. All right. So for this one, you have the white for the inside, okay, again, and then you have another white. That's what we're using here. So I'm gonna fold my card base just so I have it. This is Night of Navy, and Night of Navy is what we're going to be using to stamp our truck, and we're going to stamp our truck kind of sort of twice. Okay, let me grab my scrap paper, and I think I need this. Okay, all right, so now I need my wheels, my truck, both pieces of my truck, and the sentiment, and the fresh. I think I used the little fresh. I see. Yep, I did. Okay. So on the sailboat, you're going to be using the little Farm Fresh stamp, but we're going to be just doing the fresh. So, forgot to grab my markers. You guys can hear me grunting and groaning. It's so sad to be so out of shape. But I'm working on it, you guys. I really am. So I'm kind of excited about it. All right, so before I do anything with my covers, so these are all from the covers. Isn't this fun, you guys? I thought it looked like tire tracks, which is why I grabbed it, because I thought, this is tire tracks, right? Right here. So I'm going to show you how to use those. And then, of course, you've got your sailboat pieces right here. All right. So now I am going to, on this scrap right here, I am going to I'm just like, I feel so disorganized. Oh my God. I think I was so excited about having a bingo. I love doing bingo, in case you guys did not know. Love it. So I need the, how come it's not telling me? I did not put the color of the wheels on here, which is very odd. Did I decide to do them with a marker? No. So we're going to go ahead and grab the Smoky Slate, because I know that I did that. You can also use Pebble Path. That's a good one to use. I didn't. So here's my Smoky Slate in the old style. And then I need my Night of Navy. And I have my Night of Navy marker. Okay, so I want to stamp the wheels. Okay. So I have to think about where they go on the truck so I don't run off the edge. I'm going to stamp about right there. Then I'm going to move that over because I'm going to need it again in a second, but I don't want to accidentally stamp my truck in it. So then I'm going to take the Night of Navy with the truck. Oops. You didn't see that. The Night of Navy and the solid part of the truck. And I am going to line it up. So I'm going to zoom in here. Oh, you guys can't even see me, for heaven's sakes. Okay. So if you see how I have the truck sitting there, it's a lot. I know it doesn't show me. I just have it going down. I didn't buy one of those expensive things, but to do the two-way. But as you guys can see, when you line it up like this, it's a lot easier to see where the wheels go when you stamp it. So there's my beautiful truck. And you see that it has a lot of white outline. Now, the reason I should not have stamped that is because what I actually did with this one is I used, and I'm not going to do it right now, just because it's loud. Unless you guys tell me, does anybody not know how to emboss, powder emboss? Let me know. I want to clean everything because I'm going to be using different colors. I want to clean this one anyway. So I would ink up this outline in Versamark, and then I did it with white. White? Yes. Just to get a really good outline. Or you can use a white gel pen. Either way works. So now I have the truck. I also want to have, move this back over here because we're not using him today. I'm going to get another set of wheels, and I'm going to put him this way. And I'm not too worried about this one's positioning now. I'm going to clean my truck, the inside of my truck. I actually could have done this first, and then it would be less of a problem. Let me make sure it's clean, because I don't want to get any truck on that. So I'm just going to do the bottom half of the truck. Okay, and again, I'm going to line it up. Okay. So now I have a full truck and a partial truck. Does that make sense? I hope it does. It should. You guys are pretty smart. So, all right. Let me close these before I make a ginormous mess. And I'm going to need that again, but not that. Okay. So now I can punch out the truck. So the only thing I have to watch for when I'm punching out the truck is make sure you're not, like, you don't have anything over here punching out your half truck. So very simple. You're going to punch out your truck, line it up as best you can. Now, I don't always like the white edge, so sometimes I will just get the wheels and then I'll fussy cut around the truck, or I will highlight it with like a lighter color so it sort of fades in to the distance. So now you've got your truck and a lot of other pieces. Then you can do the same thing with your half truck. And this I am going to get really close to the wheels because I know that I am going to be trimming it. Messy, messy pieces everywhere. Okay, so here are my pieces. Let me move that for a minute. And you can take your trimmer, or what did I do with my little trimmer? Oh, here it is. This was the coolest little trimmer for when you're traveling. It was a recruiting special. And you can put that on there. You don't want to, you want the hubcaps. So on mine, actually, I fussy cut it. No wonder that seemed weird to me. I wanted the, because you know it's a trailer. It's not a truck. So I kind of just went along and fussy cut. And then I went up here and I went a little bit over, because I kind of wanted a blue line. And if you are a perfectionist, God bless you. Anybody who knows me knows that I have a saying. You guys probably know it. It is perfection is overrated. That is how I feel. Okay, cut that down. All right, so now I have my little truck bed, right? Now, for the fresh, what I did was, and you guys probably know this already, you want to make sure you know what way your sails are going. Like I said, I'm not a sailor. A sailor? Yeah. So I know that this one goes like that. Like how confident I am. I know that it goes this way. No, I don't. I don't know that at all. So then I'm just going to take my marker and I'm going to use the brush end. Let me zoom again for you guys and see where I have to be on camera. I think is way up here. Yep, up here. And I'm just going to marker. You can also do the tape trick, you know, where you tape it off. And I'm trying to only get the fresh and the fancy F in fresh. And I'm just going to then stamp it on to the sail. There we go. Did not come out perfect. Why? Because it's a live video. That's how it works for me, right? Okay, so let me clean this before I forget because I know I'm going to need it. All right. So now I have all my pieces except for this is actually going to be your tailgate, just so you know. And it seems a little weird, but that's why I punched you an extra one of these. So when we're ready, that's what that one's for. And this one we're going to color, or you can leave it white, whatever you prefer. I think I dabbed it into, right into the smoky slate when I did it. I think I just kind of went for it. Now it's going to be all over my hands and I'm going to regret it immediately. Yeah, see, and now it came out black, but okay. So now it's all over my hands. So I need a wet wipe. Do you guys keep wet wipes in your craft room? I absolutely do, and I buy the cheap ones because they're just for wiping off my hands, right? They're not for anything in like little baby bottoms or something where you would want really good ones. Okay, so now you have all of your pieces to assemble in a minute. Now we're going to take this piece and our scratch grid paper. These little pieces are bugging me. Toss them over there. All right. So this is what I did. This is why you've got these little weird pieces. We're going to take this and make a sun. We're going to go ahead and use the crushed curry again. All right. So grab that. And then I'm going to need my blue one also. And if you have some temporary adhesive, I would definitely, oh good, I'm glad I just now saw that you're good with embossing. Oh, I have to unzoom. You guys, you got to keep me on my toes, because I mean, seriously. All right. And there's a delay. So there we go. All right, so you're going to hold this little scrap piece in place for your sun. You don't want it to be too big, all right? And you're just going to color in your sun. And you can make your sun as sunny and dark as makes you happy. If you live like in Arizona, you might want to get a little red out. I have some friends in Arizona and they're like, it's so hot. So now we have that for our pretty little sun. Then I believe, what did I say I used, you guys? I did not tell you this color. Huh. You would, that happens sometimes because I make the cards and then I make the directions and I don't always remember what I was doing. So I'm going to grab some balmy blue, and I want to make sure I don't mess up my little sun, right? So I still have, if you guys have temporary adhesive, definitely I would use it. We used to sell it and I loved it. So here's my other little trick for this. When you're about to cover something, leave a slight edge. Can you see? Hang on, let me do it and then show you. See how there's just a tiniest little bit of the crushed curry showing there? Okay. And then, whoop, wrong brush. Then I'm going to take my blue, and I don't want it too dark. So I'm going to start trying to stay in focus. You know what it is? I need to be up higher. Okay, this is going to look crazy, so I apologize, but I think I need to lift this a little bit so you guys can see more of what I'm doing. That might be better, I hope. Let me look. Looks darker though. Weird. All right. I don't know if that's any better. Let me pull this out. And I can move this because it's not like you guys don't know who I am. And I'll pull it out later for those of you who don't know who I am. All right. I got to wait for my camera to catch up to see if I'm still on screen. Hang on. Okay. There we go. Sorry, that's how long the delay is. It's pretty sad. So I'm going to start off of my cardstock, and then I'm just going to lightly, because it's a pretty day. We're sending sunny thoughts. We're not sending a rainstorm. And I'm just, if you can see this, I'm actually, there's some whiteness to it. And that should be enough. So now I've got a pretty sky. So when I remove this, now I have the sun and a pretty sky. You can see on my card, I embossed with white embossing powder, the Versamark and then the white embossing powder. I made some clouds on there, okay? And then with the Night of Navy, I stamped the Sending You Sunny Thoughts. So I just thought that went well with what we are doing. All right. So now you have these pieces. This is Designer Series paper, and the first time I saw it, I thought it looked like water. So it seemed appropriate to me. So now I think I gave you guys all a bigger piece than you need. So I will just trim it off because, you know, I cut this stuff and you know how I feel about perfection. So I wanted to give you guys a chance to do it a little bit more perfectly, perhaps, than I might. And you can determine how much you want to do here. So I kind of wanted a lot of that up there. And then you can use your snips or you can grab a trimmer. and just set it in there and trim that off. Now for the road, you have a couple of options. This one didn't come out very well. I don't know how your guys' came out, but this one didn't come out as well because I like to paper tear it. But if I paper tear this one on this side, it's gonna look weird. So if you don't know what paper tearing is when you literally just tear the paper. And the reason I did it on the original, it's hard to see, but it kind of makes it look more beachy. All right. But I was tired of embossing these. And so when I got down to my own, I went, whatever, I'll just wing it. So I don't want to tear it because it's going to look really weird. But I also noticed I have too much of this on mine, this bottom piece. And this comes from, where did I put it? I wanted to show you guys this embossing folder. It's new. It's 2. You get 2 of them. And these will go into our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. So that's kind of cool. But you know, a card front won't fit. So it's very cool. So I use this one, and it's just got the chevrons right here. I guess those would be chevrons. I call them tire tracks, but hey, that's just me. All right, so now I'm going to put some on here, and I purposely left no embossing here because I wanted to show where the truck stops. Okay, because it wouldn't have left tire tracks in front of it, right? So I am going to place this at the bottom. I'm actually going to probably leave it out a little bit because I'm going to trim it because I don't like these bumpies on mine. And you guys can do what you want with yours, however it makes you happy. So that was why that looks like it does, because I wanted it to have tire tracks. I didn't trim that very well, did I? Let me do this way so I can see what I'm doing a little better. This is not my normal trimmer. Guys, for heaven's sakes. Please tell me you think I'm funny at least. Slightly insane for sure. All right, so brush all this stuff out of my way for the moment. All right, so now I have my front piece, and I need to put my trucks on, right? So like I said, this is going to be your trailer hitch. So you're not going to need all of it. So just tear a little bit of it off and then put a little bit of adhesive on here. And you can determine where the hitch is going to go. Is it going to go on this piece or is it going to go on this piece? I think I put it on this piece. So I'm just putting a little bit, maybe, I'm putting a little bit of adhesive back here. And I'm just going to have it coming out of the trailer. I know your hitch would actually be on the truck, but I wanted to be able to see it. So you can, you know, move it around as you feel fit. But that's what that piece is for. It's to make a trailer, trying to get it to not be seen, to make a trailer for, or a hitch for your trailer. For the moment, you are my favorite demonstrator. Watch, wish I lived closer. Oh, Barbara, you're the best. So what do you mean for the moment? Hey, wait a minute. I'm just teasing you. All right, so now you decide what you're gonna do with, everything just fell everywhere. That's ridiculous. I gotta go grab my other dimensionals. I've got my truck on with dimensionals. So we're gonna start with that. You know, every time I go to like the dollar store or something, I see those little plastic trash bins. They look like little trash bins. And I keep saying, oh, pick one up because you need it. And then I don't. And then I get mad. Because I would really like to have one right now. All right, so I've got that there. Now I'm going to put some more on here. I hope I gave myself enough space here. I really, really hope I did. We'll find out in a minute, right? All right, so now I just want to make sure that my trailer hitch shows that it's part of the truck. And you can tuck it underneath. I chose to put it on top because I was a little worried about how much space I have. But these are popped up. This part of your boat will not be, because it's in the trailer, right? So, so we're just going to put a little adhesive on here. Now this curled up because of the way I use the ink, right? So you guys know that's what happened there. So I'm going to put my little boat on the trailer. So it's kind of behind the, it's behind the tire wells. I think that's what they're called. And then you can decide. These are popped up for mine, but that's totally up to you what you guys want to do. I need to do some trimming because I need some smaller pieces for this piece. For the little corners, I don't want a whole dimensional. I think I'm out of camera range. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, I feel a little better now, Barbara. All right. So then I'm going to try to tuck in parts of the sail. You don't have to, though. I think I tried it with mine and it just kept popping out anyway. But see, now my sails look like they're blowing as I'm going down the street. I always have to keep thinking about how this goes. Goes like that. Okay? So look at your sample, unless I'm totally wrong and you guys are like, Carrie, that's not how a sailboat works. That is so possible. I've been on boats. I don't think I've ever been on an actual sailboat like this. I've been on little tiny boats, but, and big boats and pontoons. Pontoons are my favorite. I don't know about you guys, but I think pontoons are the bomb. Maybe it's because I'm older, but I just think it's cool that you can sit and you can picnic and you can, you know, hang out, and I love them. Okay, so there we go. So that is basically how I made this adorable little sailboat card. I know, I did not have the boat. Seriously, I ordered the boat when I ordered the truck, my first truck, because that was the first thing I thought of. So yeah, now you have to go get the boat. Yeah, it's adorable. So there you go. So you'll just glue that on, and then you have the white on the inside. And if you want to, you can do some embossed clouds like I did on mine. And this, the white, oh, you know what else I did on mine? I just realized it and I forgot. I think I gave you guys a piece of clear. No, you know what I did? I was going to tell you this fun trick. You know how when you get your stamp sets, there's this flimsy piece of plastic? I cut it out, and then I used an X-Acto knife. I don't like using X-Acto knives. I'm terrible with them. I'm like, when I'm using one, it's terrible. But I cut out the window, and then I put a little piece of this plastic, so don't throw it away. I'm cheap, use everything. That's why this one, you can see the water through the truck. That's why. So that's a little trick if you want your truck to have a glass window. Okay, so that is that one. All right. Let's play bingo. As soon as I clean up my mess. All right. All right, bingo, here we go. Well, that looks lovely. All right, here we go, you guys. I'm going to pull 5 out really fast, okay? I have 5. I have 5. 4, 7, 21, 15, 1. I'm looking to see if any of you guys have those. Linda, you already won, so if you win, we may have to give it to Michelle. Since it's only the 2 of you. And then when I do the 3rd one, it can be either one of you guys. All right. So I hope that's fair. But keep playing, Linda. Don't stop. Don't stop playing because I just want to know. 17 and 8. I don't see anybody having those. 6. 5, 2. Linda, you would have, I mean, like, how many of these are you going to get? I mean, I know it's silly because I'm going to let her win, but, you know, it's still, you got to play. And I don't know if there's anybody else here that's playing bingo because nobody's talking but you two. And, you know, people that aren't playing bingo. What did I just pull? 21, 23? Michelle, I think those are both yours. I know you do, Linda. You're awesome. Okay, cool. Michelle's got her 2 now. 14 and 10. We know who's winning, so I'm just going to keep going. Michelle, you should have a 10. 24. 25. I'm kind of watching Michelle's numbers. 20. 13. Okay, that's one of yours, Michelle. Okay, 18. 11. What number did you read? 13, you got that one. 18. Was that it? Oh, yay! Michelle, what a surprise! You won! Woohoo! I am hoping that the girls, it was all girls, you guys. The girls who ordered this kit and chose not to come to bingo will be seeing their numbers and go, man, next time if she offers bingo, I'm going. All right. Let me show you the 2 stamps that are left. All right. Scenic Garden or Sending Support. Bingo is fun. I love it, and I wish it were more popular. It just, you know, when there's only a couple people playing and I'm mailing out the gifts and blah, 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 I have to spend too much money. Scenic Garden. You're going to love coloring this one. It's so pretty. All right, so I got to put your name down so I remember. Michelle S. It's a good thing I'm the only one who has to read my handwriting. Holy cow. It's a little scary. All right, here we go. On to our next one. This one is another one of the ones where I flipped the designer series paper to make a different one. And see, these pieces are the pieces that were in right here, because we didn't use them on this one, and we didn't use this one, so this piece right here is right here. These 2 pieces are right here. So I tried to make cards with what I gave you. All right, so I hope that makes sense. All right, so here we go. This one, you're gonna think it's easy peasy lemon squeezy, but there is a little trick to it that you probably could not see in the picture on the directions. So Obviously, you have a card base. You have the card front, or you can do the other one. And then this is for the inside. This is for you to stamp on. And this is for your truck. And then the bow. I'm not going to put this one all together either. We're going to do this one. We're going to do the other one. And then after the next bingo, we'll do the little 3D project. All right. So here's the trick to this one. What you're going to do is, where is my, what am I looking for? I'm looking for my black ink. All right. And I want the truck outline. All right. So, as I said, I used Memento's Tuxedo Black right there. And then where is my scrap paper? I am going to do the wheels up here because I just need these parts. So let me clean this before I forget. What I do with my spray, here it is. You guys, here's another tip for you. I buy the refill bottle, and this is an old hairspray topper because it's cheaper. So if you're using those, that's a little tip for you. Or you could buy the refill and get the cheap little, like, dollar store spritzers. Not that I don't want to sell you a bunch of Stampin' Up! Stuff. Of course, it's my job, right? But, you know, I'm cheap. I assume a lot of my friends are also cheap. All right, now, here is the bizarre little trick. I want my truck, and I'm hoping you guys can see it. I don't know. Can you see that he's shiny? This one I cut the window out of also. Okay. So what you can do is, I'm going to be brave. Guys, it's crazy for me to do this. Maybe I won't because I can't find my X-Acto knife. Oh, I found it, I found it, I found it. And then I need something to cut on, which I will have to fake it and use the back of this. Don't do this at home. I'm terrible with an X-Acto knife, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out this window. I hope I'm going to cut out this window and not cut my finger. My husband says, just be gentle with it. And I'm like, I'm terrible. It's awful. See what I mean? I like freak out. I'm just not a good X-Acto knife. And I have all the different ones. I know, isn't it fun to have it shiny? Okay, so I've kind of got it cut up here. I think I can see. So now I'm going to take my snips. If you're like me and you're not X-Acto with your X-Acto, you can cut out your truck window. And it's very poorly done. This truck must have been through the war or something because it's got a lot of little goobers. Let me see if I can get those snipped off here on a live video. Not really. How awful is that? So, I know you guys have cutting, something to use your X-Acto on. I do too, even though I rarely use it. Oh, I forgot to pull out the directions. So yeah, see, you do have directions for this one. All right, so now my truck window has a little hole in it. All right. And I'm just going to take some shipping tape. This is heavy duty. This is not, you don't want to do this very often because it's not a friend to your punch because it's quite thick. So I'm putting it on there. And then I'm going to put it on the two hubcaps. This is another trick I learned from social media. This is one of those things for those when we have bags of like hot dog buns or something. You take it and you put it on the end of your tape, and then you never lose the end of your clear tape. Isn't that brilliant? Love it. Love it. If you don't want to do this, you can certainly use clear embossing powder to make your truck shiny. I really don't want to use all this tape on here, but I'm faking it, so what the heck. So now, just in order to get this into the into my punch, I'm going to take these off. And I think this has to be, yep, these have to be lower so I can fit it in. Hopefully that's good enough. All right, so I may need those to hold my truck. So now what I'm going to do is, this is your little wheel well down here. I am going to get that into the wheel well and squeeze. See what I mean? It's not a fan, so you're going to have to squeeze tight. So then you punch out your other wheel well. And these will go on with dimensionals. Okay? So your wheel wells will be up fatter, higher than your truck base. I don't want this tape, this tape that's not stuck to anything. I don't want that going through my punch. So I'm cutting it off. So keep that in mind. But you notice now I have a clear window. So I just put my finger on it. Don't do that, or your window will have a giant's fingerprint on it. You being the giant. Now, this is where you're going to want to, after you punch them out, very unhappy. I definitely would run it now through some like sandpaper to get all that goobery stuff off. All right, so there are my two wheel wells. There's this. Now you definitely are going to want to go and cut out your tires because your tires aren't red, right? So just carefully go around the wheel well, and you don't have to be perfect because you're going to be covering the wheel wells, right, with these wheel wells. So you don't have to be perfect. You can just quickly cut them out. Nothing makes me happier than saying you don't have to be perfect. Just makes me so happy. All right, then you have to think about what you're going to do. You're going to stamp your sentiment on here first, and that is with, I believe, Old Olive. So dropping stuff everywhere. Old Olive. You know what? If I'm ever like super organized and stuff on a video, you guys probably should call 911 and send them over to my house. Because what are the odds of that, right? All right, so I've got the, I have it ready here. Wishing you a festive Christmas. So I'm going to stamp that on there first so that I'm sure that, and make sure, again, make sure you've got this the right way. It's stitched also, and these stitch shapes that I've done are with, of course, my favorite Stylish Shapes dies. You guys, wait till you see the new holiday catalog. Oh my golly, I'm so, I wish it weren't coming out in September. I've heard a lot of you guys complain about that too. I wish it weren't, but it is. So we all have to just move on. But they found that when they did it too soon, it didn't work either. So it's like, you know. All right, so now I'm going to stamp that down there. Now I know where my truck is going to go, right? So I still have my wheels out. So here's my smoky slate. And again, and I have an idea, because I want to be able to make sure I have room for my tree, right? Because I'm going to put a tree on there. If you're doing this for a holiday card, you might be putting something else in there because you don't want to do a holiday card. Then you need to hold this in place again. All right. Take your Old Olive again, and you're going to grab your two pieces of tree. All right. You've got a solid You have a solid tree and you have an outline tree. So take the outline tree, and to me, my husband said this too, the tree is going that way, and everybody knows that's going to mess up your tree bristles, right, when you're driving. So I thought the tree should have went the other way, but you know, I didn't design the stamp set. So it's kind of hard when you're looking at this stamp to see what way is that tree going. So just stamp it on a scrap. Oh, that's the right way. So now I'm going to hold my truck about where I want it and then set this on there. You want to do the outliney one first because it's going to be darker and it'll be easier to match up the other one. And be really careful if you're like me. Do you see all that? I'm a messy stamper. It's true. I am a mess, but I'm happy. And then you can use a different color for the inside if you want, or you can just stamp off and then stamp your tree innards. And I like that the inner part of the tree, the inside, has highlights. So it almost looks like, and the truck does too, when you do the inside of the truck, it almost looks like it has some highlighting. You're also going to see that on my truck before I put the tape on. Let me show you guys that. I forgot this step, I'm sorry. Before I put the tape on, I used a white gel pen and highlighted it, and I totally forgot to do that for you guys. I'm sorry. But and if you look close, you'll see I'm pretty shaky. So it's not perfect. But how old is the truck? I don't know. I don't know. Could be Grandpa's truck. I don't know. All right. So now then you're just going to put this piece on flat. Oh, look, I have some stuff sticking in my window where I cut really poorly. So I'm going to push that down. All right. If you did what I did with the tape, make sure you don't get any glue where the window is, because we don't want glue oozing out, right? That would not be good. Now we're going to match up the wheels like so. This is not exactly very straight, but you know how I feel about perfection. And then you're just going to take your hubcaps and put them on dimensionals and pop them up on here. So you can see they punched out perfect. So I didn't cut perfect, but that's okay because they're going to go over those wheels. And when they're on dimensionals, you get that pretty cool 3D. And then just add some of the basic rhinestones. I put 5 on this card. And of course the ribbon, the pretty ribbon. So that is how that card is made. And I love using shipping tape to make things shiny. That works really well with things that have dies. Dies, like, they don't have as much issue with cutting through tape as punches do, probably because it's a mechanism. But yeah, I just think it's a fun technique, and we needed a nice shiny truck. That pink truck would be really cute shiny. Oh, Barbie! Oh my gosh, I should have made it a Barbie truck. Oh well, it's been a few minutes since I've played Barbies, you guys. All right, so now the one that I promised you I was going to do is this pretty one right here. Now, this one might take a little bit more time. So we're going to go ahead and get it started. I gave you a piece of basic white as your base. It's the thick basic white, and if you remember, if this one I picked to do Christmas, I better start now. Seriously, you better start now. And if you're buying shipping tape, see if you can find, like, I know they have cheaper thinner tape. So you might want to see if you could do that. Oh, well, Linda and Michelle, you're both thinking about doing it. So y'all need to send each other a Christmas card, and one to me, so because I want to see it too. Anyway, I've said this a bunch of times, but when I pre-score, and anytime you're using thick cardstock or a dark colored cardstock, the dark colored cardstock, the dyeing process makes the pulp of the paper pump up. I don't think that is not scientifically correct verbiage. But, so that's why you want to score them, because it keeps them. If you ever tried to fold a card and if you feel like it's cracking, that's why it should have been scored. And so, when you score it, you're scoring this way. You're digging in, right? You're going in. So turn it inside so that the bump is on the inside of the card, and then fold it that way. It seems like, it took me a long time to agree with that. I was like, no, that's just ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense at all. Yes, it does. Trust me. Then I took some Very Vanilla and I already pre-embossed this for you guys with our awesome Timber 3D folder. I can do those kind of things when I make a kit. I cannot stamp for you. I can't stamp any images. I could like print out images as long as you're not stamping up images. Like if I wanted to do, I have a friend who does like spiritual cards with friends, and she pre-prints all of the Bible study stuff. So, okay, so there's that. And then this is going to go on here. And I gave you a bigger piece of the fluid paper, but I started to cut myself one. And then I remembered when you get the fluid paper, it comes in a cello pack and they're all stuck in here and they're all this big, right? This thing is printed on that paper. Hello, I'm not wasting it. I am cheap, babe. Cheap. So this piece is 3 inches by 4 inches. So I want a piece that is 2 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So see if this will even fit in there. It will not. Dang it. Where are my snips? I'm going to fake this and see. All right, so I'm going to go to 4 inches. Nope, it was supposed to be 3 3/4, wasn't it? Yep, it was. 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. Okay, so now see, that's going to fit on here and mat very nicely. So I just wanted to tell you guys that because it's like you get an extra sheet. Yes, yes, I am cheap. And I'm proud of it. All right, move that out of the way. All right, so now we're going to color this piece. And where did I put them? Where did I put them? Here they are. Okay. So I am using our awesome water painters. There's a whole bunch of them on the market. And I keep one in here that has rubbing alcohol in it. It did. It's evaporated. But I have the rubbing alcohol on there, so I know that's what goes in that one. And then I'm going to squeeze this. And if you look at our water painters, there is actually, I'm sure you cannot see this, but I'll try. It says push on 2 sides. That is to get the water flowing into the tip of the brush. There you go. You can see it on my hand, I hope. And I'm going to just wet down. You can spritz it, but every time I have spritzed it, for me, it's just been a sad state of affairs. All right, so now I am going to use, I want to make sure I'm grabbing, let me pull this over so I can grab all the inks that I want. I want Boho Blue, Poppy Parade, Wild Wheat, Early Espresso. This one I probably should have pulled them all, right? Like, yeah, Carrie, we're all sitting around waiting for you to do something. Well, story of my life. Here's the Poppy, Granny Apple Green, and Early Espresso. Okay, I think I have everything. We'll find out as we go. So, where did I put those? I am still going to need some of this because I'm going to do the truck on one too. Oh, here's the original card so you guys can see it. All right, so now this whole thing is going to be using my aqua painters and my blending brushes, or blend brushes. Blending marker? What are these things called? Holy cow. It is called a blender pen. So, okay, so now I've got this just a little bit damp. It's probably not as damp as it should be. I can already feel it feels dry to me. So I want this to be a little wetter. Now I can't remember if I used those. I don't think I did. So this is just me doing the background, and I'm going to start with the boho blue. And the new pads are very hard to squeeze. You know how we do the squeezy technique? These newer pads are harder, so you might want to drop a little ink refill in there. And then I'm going to squeeze this so a little water drips on here. You're going to want to make sure that after you're done, you clean this out before you close it so you don't get water in your actual ink pad. So now I'm just going to use this, or you can use one of those, you know, those dollar circles that have the little cups all the way around. It's like a painter's palette, but it's cheap. You can use something like that also. So now I'm just going to brush and make my sky with the balmy blue and a little bit of water. And it's going to be very faint, depending on how much, and start out with less, because you can always add more. Okay, so then I'm just going to clean that off, and I'm going to grab some paper towel, and I'm going to dab this off right here. Okay, and then I used Granny Apple Green. I hope this has got enough squeeze in it. Oh, it does, yay. And I've kind of brushed that off. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to push a little water into it. There we go. And I'm going to do a little bit of grass. And if you look at mine, I've got, like, I started running the green up here. I don't know why. I just thought it was interesting. So I did. Okay? So that's how simple it was to make that fun background. All right, so, oh, and I did get this darker down here because I wanted more. I wanted this to be a little bit darker for the grass, I think. So it kind of grounded it a little bit. Oops. And since I made that mistake, I'm just going to go ahead and make it look like it on purpose. Okay, I will clean this better later. They don't, I'll make a big mess if I do it now. Well, I need it. All right, so I hope I have enough water in there to finish the truck. Wrong pen cap. Is it? No, it isn't. There we go. Jeez, Carrie. Holy cow. All right, so now I am going to use this little weird piece of grass here. I actually, on mine, I stamped this, but you can't see it once you put the truck on. So I'm not going to bother. So I started to do this, and I was like, oh, I don't know. So I just kept adding them like some kind of crazy person. And it turned out okay. So the truck is parked on the grass. If your parents would yell at you for that, then don't send them this card. So there we go. Now I've got some grass for my truck. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my, hang on a minute, my cushion on my chair is acting stupid. All right. I've got to find it. There it is. And I am going to use the Early Espresso to stamp the Every Day is a Fresh Start up here. Oh, I should have let that dry. See how it's spreading a little bit? You really should, like, because this is still very wet. You probably should let it dry a little bit before you do that. Okay, so then I am going to grab my trees, my two tree pieces, innies and outies again. So I'm going to stamp one tree over here. It's going to be behind the truck. And I want another one. Oh, see, it's so wet. I want another one, but it's going to look like it's lower down, and I don't want it to be like, I don't want the stem coming out, the trunk coming out of where the truck is going to be. So I'm just going to cover that up. Then I'm just going to put another one right there. Like that. I'm going to see if I can fix this. Everybody hold their breath, okay? I did it. Life is good. I usually say, life is Gouda, like the cheese, because I am cheese-y. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I just want it super, super light. So I'm using my blend pen, and I'm getting it as light as I can, and I'm just going to move in here, just so that you can grab a different color, and then it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But I didn't want to grab another color. Why should I? So now, see, now I've got my bark in there. All right, so there's that. I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green again for my tree foliage. So now I have my tree, so I have my whole background ready, right? So now we're going to do the fun part. We're going to make an old rusty truck, because why wouldn't you? If you can, you should. Just my personal opinion. So for this one, I'm just going to use the outline. And what did I do with that? Remember I said don't throw that away? Here we go. All right. So I am going to use the Memento black ink because as much as I would prefer to use the Early Espresso, I don't want it to run. You could use StazOn, except StazOn wants to run sometimes too when you're doing coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in the black. I'm just going to stamp it right down there. And then just for consistency purposes, I am going to grab this. What did I do with my wheels? What did I do with my wheels? There they are. I should have done the wheels first. I know. Just shh, don't notice that. You're going to see why. Maybe not. Look at that, you guys. Holy cow! We have to have some excitement here. Wait a minute. Where's my applause? Where is it? There it is. Oh, that's so exciting. So exciting. That is the longest of all of the tunes. All of my little tunes. All right. So now we've got the truck, right? And this is where you decide, I wanted a pink truck. You don't have to have a pink truck. You can do a blue truck. You can do whatever color truck you want to have. I kind of wanted pink. So you know what I'm going to do, just to make it different. I'm going to go ahead and make this one blue. Why not? And I need to squeeze this if I can. It's really hard. Pink rocks. I agree, Michelle. But I'm going to do a blue one just so you guys can see the difference. Oh, see, more of my friends. We are so excited. I'm not a big, I don't gamble. So going to Vegas doesn't get me really excited, but we're staying at the Red Rock Casino and Spa, and that's where our convention, our leaders event is going to be also. And it's gorgeous. It is really gorgeous. So, okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give myself a blue old truck. And you want to be careful with this because it's going to want to run outside the lines. So take your time. And you can, I think somehow, and I don't remember, I think I matted this off. And if you look at mine, you can see the tree through the truck. So you can either cut the hole in your truck again, or you can mat it off, and so you can see the tree behind it. Totally up to you. So this is coming out so light, it's almost coming out like a green truck, isn't it? Oh, there, that's a little bluer. I didn't mean for it to be quite that blue, but we're going to go with it. I apologize for all that ringing, you guys. I hope it's not bothering you. Okay, so I don't want it perfect because remember, I'm doing an old truck. Okay, so there's that. So now I have a blue truck, and now it has to be an old truck, right? So we're going to take some wild wheat. This is one of the fun new in colors. Yeah, blue is good too. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you approve. All right. Do I still have water? Yep, I do. Okay. I'm going to squeeze a little bit in here, just like I did with the other ones. And then you're just going to get it dirty and rusty. I want it to be old and rusty looking. So I'm just going around the places where a truck rusts. Or most cars rust, right? Oh, definitely along the bottom, around the wheel wells, definitely show their age there, right? And a lot of times there are places like on the roof. Did I do that with this one? I did. Like here on the front hood, it's a little rusty, a little here, maybe by the door jamb. You're just going to kind of rust up your truck. And you can determine how much rust. So that's with just the wild wheat. All right, I gotta wipe that out too. That's a lot. I don't think I did that on my blue. Oops. It's one of my favorite colors. I better do that. Oh, because it didn't get that wet. Okay. All right, so if you want it to get really rusty, get your early espresso out or another dark color. And you can add a little more. Where's my push button? And you can get a little bit crazy and add some serious rust in certain places. Okay? See how easy it is though to rust up your truck. So I should have put a little more in this area. I just forgot. So anyway, so that is how simple it is to rust up your truck. And then I don't want to waste all this paper, so I'm going to go like this. He's still a little wet too, but anyway, you get the idea. You would punch him out and put him on here. I would definitely cut that out or do something so you could see it. But then you add them on top. He is on dimensionals. My little pink truck, she is. And then, of course, the pretty bling is on there. But you can see how my fresh start ran. So you're going to want to let that dry a little bit before you do yours. It's also probably why my trees are so dark. Look, my grass ran too. So super rainy day for this card. Everything was running. Okay, that was a really bad joke. All right, so there we go. There is that card. So that's all 4 cards. So we're going to play another bingo game, and then we're going to do the 3-dimensional truck. And really, all I'm going to show you how to do on that is how to make the bed of the truck, because I think you guys can figure out all the rest. What am I forgetting? I have no idea. All right, bingo. That's what I'm doing. Bingo. And the last free stamp set. Okay, so we're playing for sending support. All right, here we go. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them. There are so many, seriously, adorable examples with this truck. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love it. I knew it was going to be popular when it first came out. Oh, look, I have like wheels over here. So, I'm just pulling really quick while we are talking. I'll pull out 5 numbers. All right, 5, 6, 9, 24. None of them. You guys don't have any of them. So 15, 18, 18 should be down here. Oh, B21. How did I miss that? Okay. 16. Wow. Yay. Go for it, Michelle. 7. What else do you have? Trying to get you some, Linda. 11. Okay, Linda's got one. Okay, B16. A 19. 22. 2. 14. I'll hold on to this one. Okay, so Linda's up to I. Linda's on N. Okay, Michelle, come on. 23. I think Michelle has 23. She does! Yay! 13. 1. Okay, Michelle's on G. Now you have to catch up, Linda. 25. Nobody has 25. 10. Anybody have 10? Oh. Okay, Michelle got to O and Linda got to G. So congratulations, Michelle. Bingo. Woohoo. Yay. So you win 2 stamp sets. That is not bad. And I think you got in on the like amazing deal of the you guys, I think both of you guys got the $55 kits, right? When I didn't know how expensive the bundle was. Wow. That was a shock when it came out. I was like, oh no. Oh, well, that's okay. I love you guys, so I was okay with it. All right, so I'm going to be sending that to you, Michelle. Put it with your other one. All right. Let us talk about the truck now. The little 3D item. Now I can use this because I need my scoring tool, although I definitely need to cut it. I'm hoping these directions helped you guys when I did that. So you're going to cut, oh my gosh, stuff is flying here. It's going to take me a week just to clean up my mess. All right, so I do want to trim this. Here. So you've got 2 pieces of real red cardstock. And for the truck base, you need to trim it down to 2 by 3. So we're going to go to 2 inches by 3 inches. You know, it's so funny. I found my trimmer blade. Oh, it is 3 inches. I found my trimmer blade on my desk, and I'm like, why is my trimmer blade here? And did I take 5 minutes to put it back where it belongs? No, I did not. So this piece is so you can stamp your truck twice. If you do not know how to get a backwards truck, let me show you so that you can have the truck on both sides. This is what we're making, right? But when you punch out the truck, it only goes this way. So how do you get the design this way? Well, if you have a stamp apparatus, it's really super simple. But I am sad to say you probably don't, if you don't already have it. All right, what did I do with it? Here we go. So what you can do is you can put it in your stamp. You can put this in your stamp apparatus and it'll come out perfect. Or just take this and I'm going to set it right there. And then I will take my piece of real red and I'm going to set it on top of it. And then this doesn't have to be perfectly over it. You just need to smash it down into that background. Then it should give you the truck going in the opposite direction. And then you can just stamp it again down here, and remember to cut it apart so that when you punch it out, you have your truck going both ways. Okay? So that is how this little guy works. And he does hold a couple of kisses. He holds like all those little fun size candies. These would be really cute for a birthday, or obviously for the holidays if you want to put them on your place settings, if you do that kind of thing. All right, so now how do we do the truck bed? So we're going to take our 3x2, and it's right on here, and all you're going to do is you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. So if you have our trimmer, you know you've got that on both sides. So you can go 1/2 inch and score, then do the 1/2 inch on this side, score, and then do the same thing. So you're doing the 1/2 inch in all directions, all 4 sides. Super simple, right? You're basically making a box. You girls may know. Oh, I'm glad you've had fun, Linda. Thank you. You guys probably already know how to make a box, but I'm going to keep showing you anyway. So then what you're going to do is on your score lines, and this is hard for me to see in the lighting that makes it good for you guys to see. I like to pick the same direction for all of mine. So I am snipping it on the score line up to the other score line. Okay. And then you just fold. Okay. So all you're doing is you're making your box like so. You're going to want to use a strong tape like Terran tape to hold your box together. Okay, and then you will just adhere your truck to it. I want you to know that I tried to do something where I could make it go up over the cab, and it was a horrendous mess. So I may play with it and see, but that's all you have to do for your cute little 3D. Just think if you're having a Barbie party, you can make this a Barbie truck. I don't know if I don't know if any of you guys are having Barbie parties, but you know, Barbie is the thing now. And then if you looked, we have a sneak peek of next month's paper floral. We're going to be using the paper floral dies. These are the paper floral dies. Okay. It's a whole lot of stuff. I gave you a little sneak peek, but I wanted to show you, don't get excited. We're not doing this. But I bought this on Amazon, and I'm waiting to see if you guys are getting the glare. But I just think it came out so pretty. But you can make this match your decor. And in fact, I'm making one for my daughter. She's going to give me her colors. And then there's something coming out that's more leafy. I'm going to try to do that for my sons. And we'll see how that works. But isn't that fun? So you get the idea of how these flowers are. These 3 pieces here are these. They are separate, so you put them all on together. So it's a lot of cutting. That's why you need the dies for the kit. Or if you already have flower dies or you have a punch that you like, it'll work with the cards. So I'm going to explain that to you, but I wanted you guys to see that. I have not seen the Barbie movie, but I have heard it is so cute. And probably more for adults. Okay, so the club kit to make the 4 cards and get all the pieces that you need without the dies is only $25. So if you already have the dies, or like, you know, in July, right now in July, you can still get a $5 bonus for placing a $50 order. So that you can use in August. So if you're going to place an order and you want to get these dies on your own, you're going to get that. I mean, why should I get the coupon? I'll happily take it, but you know, you might want them. And these dies cost $37. So I know you can come up with another $13 worth of stuff. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that and then just get all the card kits for just $25. If you want me to order the dies, it will be $65, and both of those things include shipping and tax to you and all that stuff. And then on here it tells you what other things you're going to need for the cards that we're making. And I'm telling you, this, I have all of the like greenery on one side and then all the flowers on another. This is a magnet from, you know, that place that does all of the cool like IKEA stuff, Stamp and Storage or something like that. But anyway, that's where those are from. Anyway, so let me know if you're going to want to do that. We are going to do another live class if enough people sign up. I may try to do another bingo and try to get people to play bingo with me again. We'll see, though. That's not a guarantee. So, all right, you guys. Does anybody have any questions before we say goodnight? No? Okay, then. Thank you for coming and playing bingo. Congratulations, girls. I wish that the others had come to play with us. But hopefully when they watch this, they will next time. So have a great evening. Bye.